What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Hangar, and today I'm going to be dropping my full spoiler-filled review of Indiana Jones and the Order of Giants, the highly anticipated DLC add-on to the Great Indiana Jones and the Great Circle video game, which I have my full spoiler review of also on the channel if you want to check that out. But yeah, Indiana Jones and the Order of Giants, we're going full spoilers, so click away if you haven't finished the game yet. But this game starts out in a really awesome way. I think this is definitely the way to go if they're going to do more DLC add-ons, where it's just another mission that you can do on the side during your time in these places like the Vatican. You head back to the Vatican and you meet up with Father Ritchie, and he sends you underground to look for this Helmet of the Giants, a really cool artifact. The cutscenes in here were great, like the last game. They're very cinematic and the music was very John Williams. It all felt very indie, but all in all, I just really enjoyed this sort of creepy kind of feeling of these underground tunnels underneath Rome. It was a super fun playing experience, especially driving the boat through them. But that's where we get to encounter the sort of villain of this DLC, the cult, the Giants cult down here, which is really, really cool. I thought this segment was pretty creepy, with all of the cult being underground in these creepy red hoods and silver masks, and they would just kind of be around the corner. You could turn and then they would just be there, and I really liked those elements of almost like a horror game that they added in. It felt super cool as a opponent for Indy, and fighting them off was great too. Again, I loved the kind of creepy factor of these guys in the gameplay. And the puzzles in this area of the game, these were solid too. I enjoyed all these puzzles. They were very, very well crafted, just like the original, not too difficult, even if I may have struggled on some, but I'm just not a great puzzle guy. So I really enjoyed that area of the game. Then, of course, we get a nice Indiana Jones twist where Father Ritchie ends up actually being a member of the cult and being the villain. Again, this is a greatly executed twist. It's some classic Indiana Jones stuff. I enjoyed it. I didn't really see it coming. But then you get locked in his office, you gotta escape, and eventually you solve a bunch of puzzles. And this area of the game was my only sort of negative. It just didn't feel like a ton of puzzles. But eventually you are able to find the gladiator Abgal, who is the huge giant, and he wakes from his sleep and kills Father Ritchie, of course. But then you begin to ascend, and you are in the Colosseum in Rome. That's how far you've traveled under the ground. This was a cool reveal, an awesome ancient site. And of course, Indy being there, he has to fight the gladiator Abgal in the arena. I thought this boss fight was really well done. It was super fun, and of course the ending was great, where Indy's able to defeat the giant, and then he falls back down into this well. It felt like a very Indiana Jones-esque ending, and Indy, of course, takes off on a fascist spike to sort of start a new adventure, and so I really, really enjoyed it. It was a perfect sort of way to tie the whole thing together to fight this huge giant. The only thing I expected was I thought we would get some clarification on what happened to Locus at the end of the Great Circle, as he did go off into that portal in Noah's Ark, and we saw in the secret ending of the game that he had escaped out of there alive. But I'm sure that if they make a Great Circle 2 or a sequel to that game, then they will tackle that later. But yeah, those are just my overall thoughts on the DLC Order of Giants. What did you guys think about this game? If you played it, remember to comment that down below, and to like and subscribe for more indie news, updates, and content just like this, along with that 1,000 subscriber special, a full tour of my Indiana Jones collection. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.